We have to wait. And yep, we're live.
Hello.
What's up, bruh?
Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome you all to the Conversations That Matter show. Episode
Seven.
7. Okay, 7. Nice. That's a lucky number. So, what is up, dude? How are you doing?
I'm good. First of all, I have to apologize to the people that are regular to the podcast for not being able to make it yesterday, as every Tuesday, because I went to a trip to see my sponsor, so I couldn't. Well, I basically came back home really late, so podcast could not have happened, but we love you guys, and that's why we're here today for the episode number 7.
Who's your sponsor, by the way? Sponsoring what? Yeah?
Rolls-Royce.
And what are they sponsoring for you?
My PhD.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it was quite good. There was like a presentation that you would definitely like it. Sorry for not being able to see me, guys. I was trying to change my position to something more comfy. So there was like a presentation about innovation and about business, and it was super sick. Like they gave examples of Steve Jobs and what Apple does differently and why they are successful. For example, with the digital images and the photography, they said that the number one provider was Kodak. You remember all these machines that had the picture come on the same time. And basically they said that even if they were the number one on pictures and photographies and stuff like that, they didn't want to evolve and do something different. And that's why now no one buys, almost nobody buys.
I think they are bankrupt. They've closed completely. Yeah.
So that's why
I'm not sure, but I know that, for example, here in Greece, because I had a relative who worked there, they shut down completely. So yeah. So I think that's a good message to start off with. Like you always have to keep in mind to try new things. Like try to grow. Whatever doesn't grow, it dies. There's no middle ground, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, if you're just staying the same, you're only waiting for your death, essentially. So it's like a matter of time. Have you read any good books lately?
Yeah, basically I'm reading 2 books now. Both of them are in meditation. And basically what I want to do next month is the sensory deprivation tank. Have you heard about it?
Sensory deprivation?
Yeah, it's called sensory deprivation tank, and dude, it's fucking awesome. There is one here in Manchester. I think I searched and I wasn't able to find one in Athens, but you should give it a try as well. So basically, sensory deprivation tank, what does is like it simulates the feeling of you being on your mother's womb. So they put you inside the tank full of water, which is salted. So basically, you float on the water. Then they close everything down so there is no light. They give you earplugs so you hear nothing. And you float in the water for 45 minutes. Wow. And they say it's life-changing as a feeling because you're all alone with yourself and there's no sounds, nothing, no lights. And it's a kind of meditation, but it's one step after the classic meditation where you chill on your own. Basically, you do this and it's fucking awesome. All the reviews I've seen, all the videos I watched, and everything they say that it's absolutely insane. So I'm gonna give it a try, and if I like, it's like £20 per session. So I will try to do 1 or 2 per month and see how it goes. So exactly because I want to start doing this, I was like, okay, let's go a step before that and let's really get deep into what meditation is. And the first book, and definitely you will have many things to say about meditation, but the two books I'm reading right now, the one is called 10% Happier, how I tamed the voices inside my mind and found self-help advices that really work, or something like that. If you write on Amazon 10% Happier, you will find it. It basically is a reporter who had like a crisis on national television. And then she went into drugs, and she was a war correspondent, and she had a really crazy life per se. And basically she started looking for all these gurus. So she met Eckhart Tolle, she met Deepak Chopra, she met the guy who wrote the Secret, and I cannot remember his name right now. And he's explaining, his whole journey of finding meditation and how it worked for him. And it also gives you some really tangible advice to use when you start meditating. And the second book, which is really, really, really good, it's called Meditation Plain and Simple. And it's exactly what the title says, a simple and plain guide on what mindfulness meditation is, and how this works. And again, it gives you a lot of things to work with. Every chapter has advice, every chapter has exercises to do, and it's like a really good introduction for people when they want to start meditation. So both of these books, they're really good. I highly recommend them. And when I finish them, I'm gonna also upload a video review, and most probably that will be part on the Udemy course I'm creating.
I have so many questions right now. Okay.
Yeah.
First question is, do you meditate daily?
So I started doing 5 minutes meditation per day. So far, I skipped one day, which was yesterday, because I woke up at 4:45 and I could barely walk.
Of course.
And I was quite sure that if I would meditate, I would fall asleep. But apart from that, there's another thing. Anyway, I'm going to say that to you because people watching this podcast are people that are like hardcore fans, let's say. I use another productivity tool, which is called Habitica, which what it does is like you have it's like playing a video game, and you have a character, and for every habit that you do, your character grows, and then you buy swords.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down. I'm literally like, I'm gonna write it down.
Bro, it's insanely good.
Because I love video games, so like I'm gonna get addicted to it, but it's gonna be for a good reason.
What it does for me is like, okay, my character needs to grow. I need to buy a new sword, so I need to do my meditation, because otherwise he's not gonna get the 10 XP.
Okay, yeah.
And basically, I put like clean the dishes, make the bed. You can put simple tasks like that and rank them like some easy tasks, so they don't give you too much XP. But if you put like shutdown mode at 10, this is a heart, and I put like gives me 30 XP. If you put meditate as a medium, it gives you 20. Then you can join 30 days challenge with other people that are doing cold showers. Anyway, it's really, really good. And I don't know why. And basically what does this app, this desktop app anyway, you can find on your phone as well, really, really helps me. And that's how I keep on track with everything.
Oh, wow. That's so good.
And I'm not using Headspace yet, because I want to do it on my own. So what I do is, and then I'm waiting for you to say, here, alarm clock, 5 minutes. The moment I wake up, as you recommended to me in the past, chill, focus on the breath, feel in my body, 5 minutes, stop, I'm leaving. And to be honest, I haven't seen like a huge difference, but I'm not even doing this for a month now. But for sure, it's like something, it's really beneficial. And that's a tip for the people watching the podcast right now, that if you really want to get immersed into something, you need to surround yourself with things that will support this, habit, like reading books, listening podcasts, like Conversation That Matters show, and find
This
people that are
gives
really,
you 1000 XP, by the way. If you watch the entire video, it's
yeah,
1000 XP.
yeah, and yeah,
Plus, you get a big motherfucking sword with it, right?
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm dubbing for the people listening.
By the way, I followed your advice on. Actually, it wasn't your advice, but you persuaded me to do it about making my bed after I wake up every morning. It really, really, really does help. I am so surprised. Like
Yeah,
something so trivial, so simple to do, you know, and it really helps for. And I don't understand why. Like, and the only thing that I compare it to is when I brush my teeth. Okay, because before that I just woke up and brushed my teeth. But now I fix my bed and then I brush my teeth, and I find it that I get so much more satisfaction, and I am so much more productive when I brush my teeth after I've made my bed, you know. I do it with so much more energy. Yeah, it's hilarious. I don't know. It's very, very surprising, and it's also very, very consistent. Like
yeah.
every day the same.
And
Yeah.
the big, the big win when you make your bed is not only that you get into momentum into starting and finishing something, but also is like, the feeling when you get back home and your bed is not like messed up, and you have your duvet on the floor and your pillows are like the one on top of the other. But when you get inside your house and you see everything in order, you're like, ah, it's a
Yeah.
place where I can now relax. Whereas otherwise, and I don't know if this is the same for you, when I'm studying and my desk is like with papers, with coffee from yesterday, with when everything is out of order, I cannot work. Whereas when I get inside my house, everything is on order. No plates on the sink, bed made. What else? Clothes in the what's the word? In
In
the
the
closet.
laundry,
In the
in the
closet.
closet, the laundry
Yeah.
on the floor.
Then you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
now I can
Yeah.
relax, or now I can work.
Yeah, this is actually a reflection of your character at of your psychology at the moment. I watched a lecture from like this guy I told you about yesterday, this psychologist, uh, and he explained like the phenomenon where during the exam period, okay, all students that are like procrastinators, what they do before they study is that they tidy up their room and they clean the entire house. You've seen like the trend, and you've seen the memes that make fun of it, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, and this, he said that like this is a psychological reaction to what's happening, because like you get to a point where you can no longer be in a chaos, okay? Because like there are exams, so this means that you have to get organized and get productive. So when this comes and you realize that your entire life is a mess because you've procrastinated so much regarding everything, then you try to do what's most relevant and most immediate to you, which is to clean up your surroundings, like to fix your environment, okay? And when this happens, then this reflects upon you in return, and you see a tidy bedroom and you think of yourself as a tidy person, you know, and then you can assume the character of a tidy and disciplined person who can work, you know. So this is not at all random, you know. It's like very much correlated. The situation of your environment and your psychological state at the same time to do productive to have productive behavior, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like you can start by the really really simple things like making your bed. I've seen huge difference. I don't know, maybe I belong to this special kind of category of group, but I've seen huge results by making my bed. I'm really serious about it, and I am sure you will see also huge results after a while after you did meditation, for example. It's the same. It's like these so little things that you do that that organize like little tiny parts of your life, but all these 1% they add up eventually, and you go from a complicated mess to an organized or to an organized state by doing the simple things. You don't have to get complicated or to have complex systems with it, just keep it simple. And this is why I'm gonna try the app you said, because it's like a very good way to motivate you to do simple tasks. Always go for the simple. It's like, I think it's the best thing.
For sure, bro, for sure. Yeah, I mean, when you live like a life, which is hectic and you have so many things to do, so many people to talk with, so many tasks to finish, you really need to put yourself into this momentum. And I think that, it's like, I don't think if it does, people call it like that, the snowball effect, but I guess they do. Like, you start with something small, and the more you do it, this gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you're able to do the big thing. Another tip for the people that want to be more productive, and I won't say more because I'm keeping the most for the Udemy course, and is find your one thing. And that's something that I found from this book, highly recommend it, which is called
I've read it 10 times.
Huh?
I've read it 10 times. Like,
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And basically, you need to find one thing that you need to focus before you start. And that's something I do. And I put, for example, I put on Habitica, the app I mentioned, work on your one thing. One thing, and another habit I put, plans your day ahead. So before I go to sleep, I'm gonna decide what will be the one thing I'm gonna work on the next day. For example, today was to write the fucking guide. I have to write the guide. So I knew that the moment I went to the office, I had to write the guide. If you have more time, you do the second thing. If you have less time, it's all right. You can separate it in simplest tasks and work this as well. But for sure, it's a great thing as well. What else did you want to say about meditation, by the way?
About meditation is that I use an application called Calm. Okay.
Is it better than Headspace?
It's different. It's not better.
Okay.
It's different. So it has some, and I use it for one specific thing. It has a little program on it, a little sequence that it's called, I think it's called bubble breath. Okay. And what it does is it shows you a dynamic bubble, like a countdown timer of some sorts, a bubble that expands and contracts. Okay. And there are some marks on the bubble that when enough time passes, then this means that you inhale and then you exhale, then you hold your breath and stuff like that. So essentially, it is a sort of a breathing exercise. So yeah, do that for like 5 minutes, and I find it it's a sort of meditation. It's not like a traditional mindfulness meditation, but it's I think that meditation can take many forms, and even like you can make washing the dishes a meditation, or you can make hanging out your clothes to dry a meditation. You can make making your bed a meditation, or brushing your teeth, you can make it a meditation, or walking, you can make it. It's like anything, you can make it a meditation. And the underlying principle is that you focus on one specific task at hand. What you're doing at the moment, you need to only focus on that. And when you focus on breathing and you sit still and you only focus on breathing, this is what we call mindfulness meditation. Essentially, it's nothing more different or more complicated than that, I believe. What about your course? Like, what are you preparing for us? I actually really don't know, guys. It's not to help him promote. He told me about the course, but I only know a couple of things, so I am really asking out of curiosity. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, for the people that are watching, these are the new lights that just arrived like a few hours ago. And I'm gonna go and create a free online course on productivity, because I think that's something I'm really good at, because I'm doing my PhD. I'm giving speeches on self-development, self-improvement. I'm pimping Instagram. We're doing the podcast. I go to the gym. I cook my own food. I have social life. So I'm doing so many things. And, in order to do all these things, you have to be able to, learn how to be more productive and not get pushed from all the things that are happening around you, from all the energy that you might not have. As a really good friend of mine said to me recently, okay, Elliot House said that successful people do the things that they don't want, even if they feel like they don't want it.
Yeah. I think
Something like that.
Yeah.
And basically, this course it's gonna be on Udemy. It's gonna be 100% free, at least for the first few months, because I want to see how people will react and if they like it. And if they do like it, I'm gonna create something different. And basically, I'm gonna give the best 10 productivity hacks I'm using in order to pick my productivity levels. And apart from that, I will also suggest in each of these hacks the best books that help me. And also, I'm gonna give some. I'm gonna do demonstration by sharing my screen on some of the best apps that help me do that.
Wow.
Such as Habitica, I told you, such as Headspace, we just mentioned. I'm gonna also try Calm, and maybe I'm gonna also put it as well there. Some of them will be on YouTube, but most of this material will be centralized into Udemy. And I have really high expectation on that, and it's gonna be a project that I'm preparing for a long time now. So I have all the material ready. And instead of publishing it as a book, that was my initial thought, I realized that an online course of me talking and explaining everything will be more beneficial for the people. So that's what I'm gonna do. And for the people watching, please get on board on this course. It will mean the world to me, and any feedback will be super, super, super appreciated, because and this course is not gonna be like on stagnation. Every time I learn something new, I'm gonna create the course. Every time I have a question from other people, I'm gonna do a specific video on that. So it's gonna be interactive. Any questions asked, I'm gonna respond them as soon as possible. And basically, it's my way of saying thank you to the people following me, and my way to start doing something that can literally help people in bulk.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for it. Definitely. Yeah. Like if you have something like Habitica that you're gonna explain, I'm gonna get value. I'm gonna sign up. Like there is no second thought.
Yeah. Thanks.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, man.
You said you are ultra productive and stuff like that, and you mentioned stuff all the way from your PhD to your social life.
Yeah.
Okay, and everything in between. Okay. So out of all these things that you do on a daily basis, okay, which comes to you most naturally, and which one do you really, really struggle to do? Like you most of the time you never feel like it, but you just do it because you know it's gonna help you.
In terms of hacks as well, or you mean like daily tasks?
Like daily tasks. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
For example, let's say that going to the gym for you is extremely easy because you really, really enjoy the gym, but you are not really fond of your PhD and you try to, you struggle with it.
Yeah. To be honest, gym is not that easy to me because I really, there are many days of the week that I don't want to go to the fucking gym. I'm like, so basically my whole program is like that. I wake up as soon as I possibly can. Now I'm waking up at 9, 10 tops, but I'm gonna try going back to 5, maybe 6 a.m. But let's say I wake up at 8. All right,
Okay.
let's say 10. 10. I'm going 10 o'clock, I'll be in the office. From 10 o'clock till 7, maybe 8 p.m., I'll still gonna be on the office because I have things to do, I have meetings to attend, I have teaching to do as well. So if you work for 10 hours, you're super, super, super tired. And then I really don't want to go to the gym.
Okay.
But I have my friend, my gym buddy, which is another hack, if you will, that is like, dude, I have to do chest today. You really need to help me. Literally, that's why after this podcast, I'm going to the fucking gym, even though I'm super tired, because I have my gym buddy. And give me a second, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's one thing, gym. Second thing, as concerning my PhD, I won't say that it's easy. Again, there are part of the PhD that I really enjoy, like doing experiments, like reading new things. But when I, for example, I need to solve something that I don't have the knowledge on, okay, feels really, really hard to me. Like, because you need to read all the papers, you need to ask all the co-workers, you need to have a meeting with the professor and then start and again think. And all this analytical thinking sometimes makes me really tired and I really don't want to do it. But again, I know why I'm doing the PhD and that's enough to drive me. Then when concerning the videos, okay, on Instagram, there are days that I don't have any energy and I'm like, I don't want to edit any video right now. I just want to Netflix and chill.
Chill. And
But
especially
no,
chill.
no, I know that if I don't do this, followers are going to stay stable. Okay, my brand awareness will go really, really, really low. So I know my why, and that's exactly why I'm doing it, no matter what. So basically, I would say that there is not something that I will do without feeling uncomfortable. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So I struggle with everything, but the moment I know the why behind my actions, the moment I know the reason that that every day I'll wake up, I'll be like, okay, it's a new day. Thank God I'm alive. Let's go. Everything goes perfectly. And I think that that's the point of life, knowing what's difficult for you, but doing it, as we said, anyway, because you have a reason to do it.
Yeah. Okay,
And
I get it.
I'm also interested to hear your opinion on that while I'm putting my laptop on charge because it's gonna run out of battery really soon. Let me know, man.
Yeah, of course.
What are your things?
What I find really, really easy to do is to work. Like, I don't have any issues with that. Thankfully, I think. And the reason is that I've been very careful to proactively choose something that I really like to do for a job, which means that even when tough parts come around, I am really patient and I put things into perspective and I show gratitude for what I'm doing in like I see the bigger picture, and this happens regardless of the results of my work, like more specifically the revenue and the money I get from it. And because I think of it like that, and there have been times when I tried other things that it wasn't the case. Like I had certain expectations about what kind of money I got back and what kind of recognition I got and stuff like that. But with my current job, I don't feel like it at all. So work comes very natural to me, and I am obsessed with trying to make everything regarding my work as perfect as possible, as practically perfect as possible as it can get. Trying to get better every day. Now, there are some things that I really don't like to do, and it takes a while for me to get to grab the momentum to do them. And for example, one of these things is the gym, as you said. Like I really have to focus and say, like, for a certain period of time in my life that I'm gonna try to commit to the gym until I get the habit going on. But this means that, for example, when there's holiday season or when I travel for like more than a week, then my habit goes away very easily. So it's like it's a high maintenance cost for me. And one other thing that I'm struggling with a lot, because of my introverted character, is my social life. Okay, and you said like, and this is what surprised me very much, because you said like you balance everything and you do everything from your PhD to your social life, and this is like something that for me is like watching let's say watching Lionel Messi dribble the ball and wondering like how the fuck does he do it. You know, it's like something miraculous, or something like witnessing a miracle to me, you know, because socializing for extended periods of time for someone like me is extremely difficult, and I don't punish myself for it. I understand like what kind of person I am and how I enjoy spending my time. But there are other times where I feel like I should capitalize more on my connections and get out even more and meet a wider range of people around and bring them around me. But when I decide that, it's already like too late to begin, you know. It's like, because the next day I'm gonna go back to behaving like myself again, you know, like more close to myself. And this is like something that I struggle very much with, like, and because it's like when you go to the gym, you feel like you are gaining something in the long run, okay? Because it's like what I call a self-investment. You invest in yourself when you go to the gym in some way or another. So even if you sacrifice some of your work time for your gym time, and not only time, but your energy and your focus in general, okay? Because you have limited energy and focus throughout the day. You still feel like, okay, I'm sacrificing this in order to get something back, okay, in another area. But when I look at it, at socializing, I feel like it's like most of the time it's only losses, you know. You get drained very easily, at least I do. And it's a sort of investment. When you look at things like how you spend your time, you really have to look at it from an investment point of view, right? And you look at it like, okay, I invest my time doing these things, okay, and okay, so what's the return, you know? What's the return at the moment? What's the return in the long run? And when you put it down and like you calculate it, and you not only you calculate it from a logical standpoint, but you also analyze it from an emotional standpoint, you come to the conclusion that it's like there is very little return on what you do regarding your social life if you are not inclined to be an ultra social person, you know. So it's like putting the work in to trying to move a wall when you clearly like there is no point in you moving the wall. Okay, the wall is gonna stay there regardless of what you do. And this is how I feel about it. And there are times where socializing for me becomes a necessity because I get deprived of social interaction so much after a while that I need to have, I feel the need to have human connection on a more intimate level, you know? And yeah, this is one of the things that I struggle the most. So I told you about the one I struggle the most, which is this, and the one that I don't struggle at all, which is my work. And now people are going to think that, okay, so this means that you're a workaholic. No, I'm not a workaholic. Like during my free time, I definitely don't work. And I am very clear to put boundaries, like now I work, now I don't work, I do something entirely different, you know? No, so it's not like a matter of being a workaholic or like a work-life balance or something like that. Please give me your feedback.
Yeah, so I will agree on some extent on what you said. Definitely like socializing, like terms of honest and radical communication is not always that easy. Okay, everyone can go for a beer, get drunk, and do, you know, and talk about football or whatever. Anyone can do it, but not everyone can really have a real communication with another person, like, you know, the conversations we have that matter live in Greece, you know, when I'm back, like communications I have with Steve, you know, Steve.
Yeah. Hello,
No,
Steve.
Yeah, these kind of communications are like for me a breath, like that gives me like the ability that I have in front of me someone that I can really talk to, that I can really understand, and that can really understand me for who I am really. So on those terms, it's hard to be able to have real people, to be able to spread your positivity, your love, and your concerns about life. But unfortunately, most of the communication with the people around us, I would say that they're like really superficial, because not everyone is like into this self-development area, and not everyone understands that you need to sacrifice things in order to do some other things. But exactly because you need to sacrifice things in order to have things, I believe that on those terms, you should also sacrifice some of your work at some point and some of your personal time in order to socialize. Because without people around you, even for those superficial and not really honest communications, without those people, you can sometimes feel really, really alone, which can be good in terms of mindfulness, but it can also drive you crazy. So for me, what I try to do is throughout the week to grab a coffee with 1-2 people that I really want to see and talk to, like, you know, my mates here in UK. And I'm not gonna do the same what I was doing in Greece. So in Greece, I used to go out a lot every Friday, every Saturday, maybe a night in the week for a college party, and go out, dance, talk to girls, and etc., etc. Over here, most of the times on Fridays, I will stay home. I'm gonna, you know, take everything from that happened throughout the week. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna watch some Netflix, chill, sleep, and wake up on Saturday. So I'll have like most of the day. And of course, I'm gonna go out on Saturday night. Of course, I'm gonna sleep really late. But I realized really recently that you need to spend time for coffee with people, and people will appreciate that. And for me, who I'm doing like my public speaking career will be very much into understanding people. It's important for me, not only for connection and networking, but also to see how the human mind work, how to see how people, what are things that people react to, what people are thinking of, what are people struggling with. All these things can happen throughout the human communication. So I would certainly say that it is important to be able to have these short coffee dates with friends or with not friends, if you know what I mean, and the nightlife as well. But for sure, you need to be confident on what you really want to do. So what is the most important thing you want to achieve? If your number one thing is I want to work, then that's your priority and everything else comes next. But on this next, socializing is important. I don't know if I answered the question because my mind is all over the place right now, but
yeah, you kinda did. But like the thing is that I'm not judging the interactions based on whether they are superficial or not. I understand, like, there have to be superficial interactions, like, and I understand this, they have to be most of it, and this is how actually the not so superficial interactions become more valuable, like, because there are a lot of superficial interactions. But I'm not judging the interactions on that. I'm just saying that, like, the ways that many people decide to spend their leisure time, like their free time, and the ways that they choose to have fun, it's like I feel like I am disconnected from it, and I think this gets so much manifested in social media. Like, you get so many photos uh, from like happy people at the club and happy people at the bar, and people hanging out with gorgeous girls, and gorgeous girls hanging out with other gorgeous girls, and blah 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 blah. You know how it goes. Like, and this is like marketing at its finest, but there is no substantiality behind it. There is
for sure,
no
yeah.
there's no substance, really. There's no substance behind it at all. And there's like, you get all these mixed messages, okay? And it's so easy to get lost in it, like, because you see all these people that they are supposed to be having fun, okay? I'm talking about the most general way that we choose to have fun as a society, which is to go out and party on a Saturday night, right? And like, who doesn't really? uh, okay, but you see all these people, okay, and then you meet them in real life, okay, and you see that you see, I think it is a clear correlation in my mind that there is no like obvious impact, I mean positive impact, that the way they choose to have fun, like how it impacts their lives, and you see all these extremely happy and content and joyous uh, moments in time when people are having fun, okay, and then you realize that they're not really having fun. Like, it doesn't add to the life experience, it doesn't really add to the life experience at all. And it's like, I think the greatest parallel example to this is that you eat a fucking Big Mac. It doesn't add to your life force, it subtracts, and the more Big Macs you eat, the happier you get at this particular moment, and but the saddest overall you'll get, during your lifespan. And I think that we celebrate, like, before, like you said, that of course I'm going out on a Saturday night, even though, like, nowadays on Fridays I am Netflix and chilling all the time. And you say like, of course I'm gonna go out on a Saturday. Like, who said that? I know that you are probably doing it on a conscious level, okay, but 95% of people don't do it like that. It's just the way they behave because society tells them to, and they don't understand that this has negative implications on what they do. I think that what I'm really, like, sort of complaining about, I don't know if complaining is the right verb, but what I really don't like is the lack of originality. It's like, how has this become mainstream? Like, is there, like, nothing else that we can celebrate on a Saturday fucking night together? Like, can we not celebrate our successes as anything? Okay, can we not celebrate our gratitude for being fucking alive and making it through the week, whether we had a good week or a bad week? It's like, there is no context behind it, and this is what drives me crazy. It's like there is no context. In the old days, when, for example, people would gather for 3 days and 3 nights to eat meat and drink wine until they pass out, like, there was a context, like, I don't know, they were sacrificing to pleasure the gods, or they were celebrating a great war victory, or they were celebrating a marriage or anything like that. There was at least some kind of context. But, like, nowadays, what do we celebrate? There is no celebration. It's exactly the same, like, when you watch porn in order to masturbate. Like, how do you get like, there is no stimulus. And the way I said it matters, right? If you watch porn in order to masturbate, you just, it's not the other way around. It's not like you already have a hard on and then you decide to watch porn to get even higher. I know there are cases where people are like, they try to replicate the feeling of orgasm, so even though their dick is soft, they watch the porn in order to get their dick hard. That's not real stimulus. There is no context behind it. And when you get your pleasure commoditized like that, it becomes so trivial that you essentially lose touch with reality and what's actually pleasurable. And this is what drives me mad. It's like there is no context behind it at all.
Yeah, you're not mistaken, and I completely understand what you're saying. But on the other side, I would say that for some people, let's start with the simplest fact that everything. Let's start with the reason why people want to go out. The reason why people want. Okay, as you said, back in the days, they would go out, they would drink, they would get wasted because what they wanted was to just, celebrate victory, war victory, or a god or anything. Nowadays, I think that people, number one, are kind of miserable exactly because they're perpetual wanting machine and they're never happy with what they have. So since they don't recognize the fact that you should be happy and you should celebrate every single time, every single day, every single moment of your life, they're kind of lost. On the other side, again, we should think the other thing that, okay, why would anyone want to go out? What is the reason? Because, for example, here in UK, and that was a big, like, social shift for me to understand, is people in UK, go out to drink and get wasted with no reason. It's their way of life. And maybe they do this every day. I've seen people, men that are like 60, 65 years old, walking on the street like that because they went to drink beers with their mate from work after they finished, which is, there's no point to do that. Exactly, if you have a family back home, you have your children, your mother, your anyone, why would you ever go and get wasted? For me, it makes no sense. The only thing I could think of is because they're miserable with, or maybe because they haven't even realized the reason why they should be happy. And there's an exercise I would recommend to everyone to do. The moment you wake up, you can write it down. I'm doing this on my Evernote. Start and write 3 things you're grateful for. In the beginning, you will probably say things like my home, my bed, my food, my family, my partner, I don't know, my studies, something. But after a week or 2 weeks time, when those, normal things to appreciate are gone, you start digging deeper and finding things like, oh shit, I have the ability of seeing. I should be, super grateful about this. Oh God, today I was able to see the sun, or I observed the sunrise. That's a great reason why I should be happy. And the more time passes, the more you get deeper and deeper and deeper into things why you should be grateful with your life, be grateful for all the things you achieved. And I think that's another door opening for you when you start like doing this self-awareness exercise every day. It's super helpful. But yeah, for sure, I think people nowadays, they don't know how to socialize, and maybe there's no reason why to socialize, because with your phone you can just be like, hey, how are you doing, how's life, and communicate with someone. Or you can take an Instagram story and be like, yeah, I'm living the life, guys, how are you doing? And the moment the story ends, you're like, fucking Instagram.
That's so standard, yeah, that's standard. Yeah.
So I remember you said to me something that a psychologist, a professor, said on how you should pick your friends.
Yeah, it's from Jordan Peterson. His name is Jordan Peterson. Like, everybody should Google Jordan Peterson right now, first of all. And like now after the video, of course, okay. He said like there are 2 factors, okay. The first thing is that first you have to be able to tell them bad news and they will listen to it, okay. And what I mean is that when you tell a person or your friend or your partner some bad news, and all they do is ignore what you said and just say like that they've had it even worse like 3 years ago, or like they completely dismiss you and they show zero empathy towards you, like they just want to make it about themselves, then this is like the first red flag. And the second thing is that you have to be able to tell them good news and they will help you celebrate the good news, okay? Which means that if you go and tell them like the opposite of bad news, like that you got a promotion, that you met this great girl in your life, that blah 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 blah, anything like that, then they will help you celebrate instead of going back to themselves again and tell you about why they didn't succeed, or why you didn't succeed enough, or how they were struggling with it and they still haven't figured it out and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, you have to find people that will listen, you will actively listen to bad news and will help you celebrate the good news. It's like, I think, yeah, that's very, 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 very important. And this is like the first like kind of filter that you can pass people through, that will give you an idea of like who are the value drainers and who are not value drainers and who are value givers, you know. And I think that it all comes down to this. Like, I've really interacted with many people in my life, and I still do, unfortunately, but I'm really conscious about it, and I'm gonna start cutting them down. Like, when you tell them bad news, instead of just fucking listening, what they do is that they make it about them. It's like, what's your problem, dude? I'm just like, I'm telling you about a problem of mine. I'm opening up to you, and you make it about yourself. Like, I am actually asking for help, you know? Why do you make it about you? Like, for 1 minute, stop thinking about you and appreciate the fact that I'm trying to share a problem of mine, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I think this is a red flag, and you will never get satisfaction from people that don't listen to you. No, not even immediate satisfaction, not long-term satisfaction, and you will get zero value from it. Both of you will get zero value from it, because you can say that, okay, yeah, maybe objectively speaking, they indeed have a bigger problem than you, but at that moment in time, you are not in a position, like in a psychological position, to listen to them, because you're already invested in your own problem, you know. So even though they are talking about their problem, and one may think that the correct move is to listen to them, even though you started the conversation, like, no, that's bollocks, you know. You cannot listen to them at the moment. You're already in a bad situation. They're just acting it out, like they're pretending, or they're just drama queens, you know. They're making this big, you know. So yeah, this is very bad. And the other thing that it's even worse is that when you try to talk about some kind of victory that you did, this has happened to me a lot of times. I think it has happened to you also a lot of times. Like, you tell people about something that you have achieved, no matter how small or how big of an achievement it is, and they just bring you the fuck down. It's like, they don't let you celebrate. You regret talking about your successes. Like, I think this is one of the worst feelings that a person can give you. And if a person does that to you, I highly recommend you get the fuck away from them. It's really not worth it to hang out with them. They're gonna continue on doing it until the day you both die. I am so sure of it. Like, it's a behavior. People don't like to see other people succeed if they're not succeeding themselves. That's 100% a reality, and that's a sad reality, and it's a lonely reality for the most part, but it's a reality.
Aiming to that, brother. Yeah, no, for sure. I have nothing to say on that. You absolutely nailed it. But yeah, choosing friends is hard. Like I think that, you know, you definitely need to surround yourself with the right people that have the right way of thinking, the right mindset. Because if you don't, they will just drain every single positive energy, every single happiness you have. They will drain it because they're vampires, they're bloodsuckers, they're like, you know, leechers, and it's bad for you. And I know it can be super hard, especially if you spend years and years and years hanging out with these people. But it is a move that you necessarily have to do, because otherwise you will stay stable. You will stay stable because the same people that you hang out are the people that kind of reflecting you. Like, there's this, you know, quote that they say, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 100% sure. If you surround yourself with people that are negative, that are not working into, you know, towards the dreams, that they don't want to go to the next level, then you will be like that. Whereas if you start hanging out with people that are positive, that are bright, that they're amazing, that they all the time they praise you for what you do, but they don't like, undermine you behind your back. When you hang out with people that help you reduce the stress and achieve something more, achieve the next level, these are the people that you need. And that's maybe another reason why now I'm going to another field of thinking, that you need to start reading books, because those books will be the friends, quote unquote, that can give you insights and mindsets that maybe your friends do not have. And
Oh yeah,
even if
exactly.
you have fun with your friends, and even if your friends are really good and positive and help you, you basically bring more friends in the figure of a book. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, books, also videos on YouTube and stuff like that from people that are that give information, that give inspiration. It's like it's sort of like choosing your friends in a more like a more directed way. You become more aware, like who to spend time with and who to hang out with. That's very, very important. And the one of the things that um, really, really like they really are true is that you are indeed the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. This is one of the most accurate quotes that I have ever seen. It's like you really become what you surround yourself with. It's inevitable. Like no matter how much willpower you have, how determined you are, the success stories of the people that were in a city environment and made it through are statistically improbable. Like they're the 0.00001%. You have to be proactive about it, and you have to surround yourself with people that you admire and that you want to you know to emulate and to imitate and to idolize. you know you really have to do that, I believe. there's
Dude,
no there's no way around it.
I think we also need to say hello to some people that are commenting.
Okay.
So, Themis Atsaloglu
Oh,
says
Themis,
hello. And
hello.
Alexandros Georgiou, hello, guys, from me also.
Oh
And
wait,
Themis,
is this guy Alexandros, is this the guy that I owe $5 to?
I think you are. He is,
Oh my
yeah.
god, he told me that he doesn't have Instagram. Can you find me on Facebook, dude? It's Stratis Karadakis on Facebook. I have a mustache on my profile picture. Add me there. I owe you $5. Like I'm not taking it back. Like
She says, yeah, that's me. By the way, Themis is like, guys, I really hate how people, when they're out together, spend a lot of time on their phones instead of talking and interacting with each other. I choose to put my phone on airplane mode when I'm with people. Rephrase it. You are the average of the people you surround yourself with. Yeah, yeah. That's a really quote that I really like. Yeah, that's what the people are saying in the comments. Good to have you here, guys. It's good to talk with other people.
and we are already like 1 hour in. Like right? It's
Let me see. We're like 1 hour and 3 minutes. Yeah.
yeah.
And we have 5 likes as well. Anyway, I don't know if you have any final thought apart from the fact that
Uh,
you owe $5 to our friend.
I wrote the comment like add me on Facebook. This is gonna go on Instagram, right? I'm gonna be like fully public about it. That this guy watched the entire video and like I
Respect.
he gets my respect and my money as well. Like, and this is one thing. It's completely correlated. It's the same thing that we talked before about people that help you celebrate your victories and help you with they show empathy with your losses. It's the same analogy is the reward slash punishment behavior. we are always so quick, and it's like so natural to us to punish bad behavior, but we rarely reward good behavior. Okay, so, and you can reward good behavior by any kind of way. And I know, like, for Alexandros, even though I am disclosing it right now, and I am actually very direct about it, like the fact that even I just mentioned about it, that I am showing you respect, even though I will give you or not give you money, if I had given you money or not, like, I reward your good behavior, because I know this is like a good behavior to reward, you know. And I think this is also one of the main reasons that why we are going to keep on doing these episodes. It's like it's a way of rewarding ourselves and any sort of audience, one person, two people, or any type of audience. It's like it is rewarding to have good conversations, and you should be rewarded for it. Okay, and this is like, I think it's very important, and so many people miss this. It's like, I think we've talked about it before. You are always in a conversation with your inner voice, and you have a sort of boss/employee relationship, which is not an equal relationship, even though the type of relationship that you should have, it should be between equals. Okay, and you should always negotiate the terms with yourself, like, I do this and this is my reward, I don't do this and this is my punishment. But you always negotiate with yourself, like, okay, what am I getting here if I do this? Okay, I get this, but if I do this, what am I getting here? Like, you always have to be able to negotiate and not like punish yourself, and this is so important. It's it's a skill. It's a skill.
Definitely.
And yeah, you learn it
Definitely.
over time.
And you learn over, with pain, unfortunately, sometimes. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, that's how life works. And to be fair, like, I think in terms of social interaction and in terms of, how people skills work, I think that it's really important from time to time to, like, not even from time to time, like all the fucking time, to be able to give without even expecting to receive. And that is the point when you will receive more than you ever expected, because it turns the whole interaction into a more sincere communication. Whereas if you're like, I'm gonna start becoming friend with this guy because his friends are cool, or because he's friend with a really hot girl that I want to get into a relationship or whatever. The moment you start interacting with the people around you just because you want to offer value, okay, just because you want to help them out, just because you want to express yourself without, trying to look cool, those are the people that will stay with you for more. Those are the people that will respect you for who you really are. And these are the people that you want to surround yourself. And if you have the same interaction and the same response from the other people, then that's even better. So I would say that instead of trying to get into a relationship with your partner for the wrong reasons, quote unquote, just have sex, right? Because you have no other options, or because you want to look cool on your family members and on your friends. No, don't do that. But if you start meeting a girl and you feel like, you know what, I really want to give, and I want to give my feelings, my thoughts, my love, and everything, then that's the point when you really have to realize that, yeah, I need to, get into a relationship. Or when you are with a friend and you want to help him during his hard times without thinking that, oh my God, now he's telling me about his problems and I'm super bored, but yeah, I'm gonna nod and smile, faking all the interactions, then you don't have sincere relationships. So a tip will be to give anything. Like, how can you help the other person? Learn how you can help the other person. This will be super beautiful for me. I mean, when you know how you can help other people and how you can impact other people, that's a really good skill to have. Without
I agree.
expecting something from them, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's manipulation, it's pure manipulation. Anyway, I think we should wrap it up
Yeah, I
slowly.
think it's time.
So anything final that you would like to say?
Um, about the zero expectations, I think that it's something that we really are struggling to understand in practice, because I think we are very young, and we are impulsive. Our behavior is very impulsive because we are very young. Okay, we we essentially, what I mean by that is that, first of all, we think that we'll always be young and energetic, which is not the case. We seriously underestimate the concept of time and like quality time that we have available. And what this means is that our biology enables us to behaviors that are quick, and this means that we also expect to have quick results, okay, which is of course not the case. And the, even though that we don't understand what it means to give without expecting, it's something that we should always like force feed into our brains, you know. It's like, give without expectations, give without expectations, give without expectations, but really mean it, you know. It's like a brainwash thing. So I think that for anyone who is listening to any kind of advice that has to do with having zero expectations, I know, yeah, it's psychologically incorrect to believe that, okay? It makes zero sense to believe that, because we are wired for survival, we are wired for strength, we are wired for aggression, because we are mostly young, and we don't appreciate the concept of time. uh, and it sounds very counterintuitive, okay? And it's emotionally very painful to think of it like that, because there comes a point where you don't have something to give, and you still haven't gotten anything back, but then you still have to give again and again and again and again. There is no stopping it. And there will come a point where you're gonna start getting things back. And this is when you will realize that giving without expectations is like the number one way to maximize your return on investment in the long run. And there was a very strong quote from a speech from Gary Vee, and he said that if you are emotionally resilient enough and strong enough to let people take advantage of you, then you should do it, because this is called leverage, okay? And the more you let people, like, quote unquote, take advantage of you by giving them stuff and not giving you back in return, the more leverage you build. And this adds up over time. And this is exactly the concept of leverage. Like, give me big enough of a lever and I can lift the entire planet. It was a quote from Archimedes, you know, and this is how you build leverage. So be fucking patient, I think. Be patient, be always giving, and expect nothing.
Perfect. I'm not adding anything on that. I think you said it perfectly. Uh, Before we close, let me repeat the three books we recommended. The one is The One Thing, okay, super good book on productivity. And the two books that are on meditation that I'm gonna do a review, and I'm gonna also put them on the online course I'm creating, are 10% Happier by Dan Harris and Mindfulness, Plain and Simple. Super good books. And thank you all for watching live. Thank you all for watching in another time and not live. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button and the like button.
Fucking bell. Bell. Smash it.
And leave us some feedback in this video, in other podcast, in another video on the channel. It literally helped me a lot to improve this channel and helped me and transition me to improve this podcast as well, having your feedback. So, sorry, it is a skill, difficult, yeah, Alexandros asked me when will I start the course. So, the course, I'm starting shooting it probably tomorrow, because I have Amazon just brought me the lamps, so I can have professional lighting. So I guess it will probably be my Christmas gift. It's gonna be 100% free. It's gonna be on productivity and other things. So yeah, check it out. I'm gonna post a lot when this time comes, both on the YouTube channel with the links and everything. And yeah, feedback is always appreciated. So I'm waiting for you in the course as well, and I'm expecting you and Themis next week in the next Conversations That Matter show to be there. All right? Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week on Tuesday. Okay? This today happened on Wednesday because yesterday we couldn't, but every Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Greece time. We'll see you then.
Peace.
Let me dab. Boom.